Hey everybody and welcome back to the channel. Listen, dating can be tough, am I right? It's like trying to parallel park a car in a windstorm while blindfolded and riding a unicycle. Ever wonder why your first dates don't turn into second ones? You could be making some classic blunders. But don't worry, I've got your back. In this video, we're breaking down the top 5 mistakes guys make on a first date and how to avoid them. So buckle up, grab your dating notepad, and get ready for some laughs. Alright guys, first up we gotta talk about the X-Files. You know, those conversations that can turn a promising date into an awkward mess in seconds. And by that I mean, don't talk about your exes on a first date. It's a surefire way to make things uncomfortable. Imagine you're sitting there, trying to make a good impression, and suddenly the conversation shifts to past relationships. It's like opening a can of worms that nobody wants to deal with. Seriously, it's like bringing your old report card to a job interview. Nobody wants to see that. Just as you wouldn't want to discuss your past job failures in a job interview, you shouldn't bring up past relationship failures on a date. It's irrelevant and can make things awkward. Your date is there to get to know you, not the ghost of relationships past. They want to learn about your interests, your hobbies, your dreams, and what makes you tick. They don't need a history lesson on your exes. It's important to keep the conversation light and engaging. So keep the conversation focused on the present, on getting to know each other, and on all the fun things you're going to talk about on your second date. Talk about your favorite movies, books, travel experiences, or even your pet's quirky habits. These are the things that will help you connect on a deeper level. Because, you know, there's going to be a second date, right? Right. If you play your cards right and keep the conversation engaging and positive, there's a good chance you'll be planning that second date in no time. Remember, first impressions matter, and you want to leave a lasting positive one. Now let's move on before we start talking about my high school girlfriend, Brenda. Oh, Brenda. She was my first love, and while those memories are sweet, they belong in the past. Just like your exes should stay in the past during your date. Focus on the present and the potential future with your date. After all, that's what dating is all about. Exploring new connections and possibilities. So, next time you're on a date, remember to leave the X-Files at home. Enjoy the moment, be yourself, and who knows? You might just find that special someone who makes you forget all about the past. Happy dating. Next up, we're tackling the dreaded phone zone. You know, that awkward moment when you're supposed to be connecting with someone face to face, but instead, you're glued to your screen. It's a modern-day dilemma that many of us face, and it's time we address it head on. Guys, I get it, your phone is like an extra limb these days, but put it away on a first date. Think about it, you're there to get to know someone new, to share stories, laugh, and maybe even find a connection. How can you do that if you're constantly distracted by notifications and messages? It's not just about being polite, it's about being present in the moment. Seriously, would you scroll through Instagram during a job interview? Imagine sitting across from a potential employer, and instead of making a great impression, you're busy liking photos and watching stories. It sounds ridiculous, right? Yet we often do the same thing on dates, where first impressions are just as crucial, or while hanging out with your grandma. Picture this, your grandma has been looking forward to spending time with you, sharing her wisdom and stories from the past, but instead of listening, you're engrossed in your phone. It's not just disrespectful, it's a missed opportunity to connect with someone who truly cares about you. Okay, maybe you would with grandma, but you get the point. Even if your grandma is cool with it and you share a laugh over a funny meme, it's still important to balance screen time with real, meaningful interactions. Give your date your undivided attention. When you're on a date, it's not just about what you say, but how you listen. Show genuine interest in what your date is saying. Nod, smile, and make eye contact. These small gestures go a long way in building a connection. Listen to them, make eye contact, and for the love of all that is holy, don't check your fantasy football scores. I know it's tempting, especially if your team is playing, but trust me, it can wait. Your date deserves your full attention, and checking your phone can send the wrong message. Trust me, your date is way more interesting than whatever's happening on Twitter. Social media can be a black hole of endless scrolling, but a real-life conversation can lead to unforgettable moments and genuine connections. Plus, you'll have plenty of time to catch up on tweets later. Unless, of course, you're on a date with Elon Musk, then, by all means, keep your phone out. But for the rest of us, let's make an effort to be present. Put the phone down, look up, and engage with the person in front of you. You might be surprised at how much more enjoyable and meaningful your interactions become. So, next time you're on a date, remember, phone zone, no phone zone. Okay fellas, let's talk threads. When it comes to first date attire, you gotta find that sweet spot between just rolled out of bed and trying too hard. Leave the tuxedo t-shirt at home, but don't show up in your gym shorts either. Unless, of course, you're going on a date to the gym, in which case, power to you. A good rule of thumb? Dress for the occasion, and when in doubt, err on the side of slightly overdressed. Remember, first impressions matter, and you want to make sure you're saying I'm date material, not I'm wearing sweatpants again. Alright guys, let's talk about time. Being on time shows respect, and let's be real, nobody wants to date Captain Tardy Pants. It's just not cool. So plan ahead, factor in traffic, and aim to arrive a few minutes early. It makes a big difference. And hey, if you're running late, give your date a heads up. It's the polite thing to do. A quick text saying, hey, stuck in traffic, but I'll be there as soon as I can, goes a long way. Remember, punctuality is a superpower, and being late is like kryptonite to a first date. Don't let it ruin your chances. Last but not least, let's talk about the fine art of conversation. It's one of the most crucial elements of a successful first date. The way you communicate can set the tone for the entire evening and even determine if there will be a second date. So how do you master this art? A first date is about getting to know each other, not about listening to you ramble on about your stamp collection for 3 hours straight. Sure, your hobbies and interests are important, but dominating the conversation can make your date feel like a captive audience rather than an equal participant. Unless, of course, your date is really into stamps, then by all means, go for it. The key is to find a balance. Share your passions, but also be open to learning about hers. This mutual exchange can create a more engaging and enjoyable experience for both of you. Ask questions, listen to her answers, and show genuine interest. This not only shows that you care about what she has to say, but also helps you understand her better. Active listening is a powerful tool in building a connection. Remember, it's a two-way street, not a one-man show. Both of you should feel heard and valued. A balanced conversation allows for a more dynamic and fulfilling interaction. Think of it like a tennis match. You gotta keep the conversation flowing back and forth. Each person takes a turn, and the dialogue moves naturally. This back and forth rhythm keeps things lively and prevents the conversation from becoming one-sided. And who knows, you might even discover you have some things in common. Shared interests can be a great foundation for a deeper connection. Whether it's a love for the same music, a passion for travel, or even a quirky hobby, these commonalities can bring you closer together. Besides, both being on a date, the goal is to enjoy each other's company and see if there's potential for something more. So, relax, be yourself, and let the conversation flow naturally. After all, a great date is about creating a memorable experience together. As the evening progresses, don't be afraid to let the conversation evolve. Talk about your dreams, your favorite memories, or even your funniest moments. These personal stories can add depth to your interaction and make the date more memorable. Humor is another fantastic way to connect. Sharing a laugh can break the ice and make both of you feel more comfortable. Just remember to keep it light and appropriate for the setting. Don't shy away from discussing topics that matter to you. Whether it's a book you've recently read, a movie that moved you, or a current event that caught your attention, these subjects can lead to meaningful conversations. Ultimately, the goal is to build a connection. By being open, attentive, and genuinely interested, you create an environment where both of you can feel comfortable and valued. This sets the stage for a potential relationship to blossom. And as the date comes to an end, don't forget to express your appreciation. A simple "I had a great time" can go a long way. If you felt a connection, let her know you'd like to see her again. This openness can pave the way for future dates and a deeper relationship. So remember, a first date is not a one-man show. It's a shared experience where both of you should feel heard, valued, and connected. With the right approach, you can turn a simple date into the beginning of something truly special. So there you have it, folks. 5 common first date mistakes and how to avoid them. Remember, dating should be fun, so relax, be yourself, but like the best version of yourself, and enjoy the ride. Now, I want to hear from you. What was your biggest date fail? Share your stories in the comments below, because misery loves company, and we're all in this together. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun and helpful videos. Until next time, stay classy.